I obtained a game key for Stilt from Rekt Games and VRKiwi for review purposes. Stilt is a VR platforming game developed by Rekt Games, published by VRKiwi, and released on March 8th of 2024. At first glance, Stilt might look like one of those oddball VR experiments that leans hard on a gimmick and forgets to bring the fun. But don't be fooled by its floppy-legged fuzzball protagonist or its off-kilter bounce physics. This game is an impressively polished, content-rich platformer with enough charm, creativity, and chaos to make it one of the most unexpectedly delightful VR experiences around. The story is simple but effective. You play as a pint-sized fuzzy delivery critter tasked with bringing joy and packages around to different areas of the world. But just as you're getting into the groove of your daily delivery route, your airship gets wrecked by a massive octopus-like monster. Now you're on a mission to recover lost packages, collect stamps, and stop the tentacled menace from wrecking what's left of your world. From there, Stilt becomes a wild, bouncing adventure across a variety of vibrant worlds. Each level is packed with platforming goodness: trampolines, collapsing boxes, moving platforms, rotating wheels, and all manner of silly and chaotic hazards. The environments are varied, and staple-themed stages are here, like lava and ice worlds that provide a nice cool setting to play in. Presents, stamps that serve as checkpoints, and hidden packages that reward curious explorers. Enemies come in different shapes and sizes, but they don't really pose much of a threat. They mostly act like another obstacle to get around. Jumping on top of them or bonking them on the head is usually enough to get the job done. The combat is light, but it's there to keep you on your toes between the jumps and jolts. The power-up system adds a layer of depth to the chaos. You can equip power-ups to each Stilt independently, giving you the ability to do things like attract stamps with a magnetic pull, fire projectiles at enemies, and reload them by bouncing, or even double up on one power for amplified effect. Experimenting with these combinations adds a surprising amount of variety, especially when paired with the game's loopy physics. Stilt isn't afraid to be awkward, and that's kind of the point. You're not running or jumping in the usual sense. You're bouncing, flailing, and pogo sticking your way through intricate playgrounds. Just walking can feel like a minigame in itself, and trying to line up a bounce to the next platform is both thrilling and sometimes maddening. Occasionally, you'll slam your Stilt into the ground expecting a big leap and get a sad little hop. Or worse, you'll bounce yourself way higher than intended and completely miss the platform. It's sometimes annoying, but it's chaotic in that just one more try kind of way. The controls never feel entirely natural, but again, they're not supposed to. This is a game that wants you to look ridiculous and feel triumphant when you finally stick the landing. Still, there are moments, especially when you're slowly inching to the edge of a platform, where the wobble can backfire and send you plummeting. Patience is part of the fun. What really sells Stilt, though, is the sheer amount of content and the way it embraces its weirdness with full confidence. Levels are creative and distinct. The audio-visual design is top-notch. The world is bursting with bright colors, inviting textures, and crisp clarity that feels great in VR. The soundtrack is upbeat and whimsical, full of bouncy tunes and satisfying sound effects that make every stomp, bounce, and bonk feel impactful. Multiplayer is a pleasant surprise too. Multiplayer has all of the power-ups from the main game that you can use to help you win the short competitions. Whether you're racing to pop balloons or just goofing off with others, it adds a fun, crazy energy that extends the game's replayability. One feature that I liked is Stilt gives you the option to play with infinite lives. That means if you're just here for the fun and not the frustration, you can turn off the challenge and just enjoy the ride. But for those who want the full experience, managing hearts and lives brings an old school platforming edge to the game. The VR implementation is excellent. The headset rumble adds tactile feedback when you land a bounce or get a hit, and while the controls might take a bit to get used to, they feel intentionally wonky in a way that fits the world and adds to the game's unique rhythm. Stilt is a standout VR platformer that doesn't just settle for being good for a VR game. It's a good game, period. It may be silly, and the controls may feel like you're learning how to walk all over again, but that's the magic. It's a full package, fun, inventive, colorful, and full of life. A true gem for VR owners. I give Stilt an 8 out of 10.